Hey everyone, this is just a little video to help you out with Act 1 of Macbeth. It's a review of the scenes we've studied so far, so make sure you pay close attention, and you may want to have your book handy so you can make important notes or remind yourself of lines you want to return to later on. So let's get started. Alright, in Act 1, Scene 1, we meet the three witches who say they're going to speak to Macbeth. And remember, at the end of the scene, they speak of fair is foul and foul is fair. That's a very important line because it is a paradox. Make sure you review the definition of a paradox because that's going to be very important later on in the play. Also pay attention to the stage directions as they set the stage for the rest of the play. They talk about thunder and lightning, which sets the dark and sinister tone that Macbeth will use for the rest of the play. In Act 1, Scene 2, we meet the wounded captain who reports to King Duncan that Macbeth has gruesomely killed Macdonald in battle. And this is important because it gives us a little bit of insight into who Macbeth is as a warrior. And it's going to be important for us to remember that later on when he gets into more trouble in Act 2. Macbeth and Banquo are revealed to be great warriors, and unknown to Macbeth, the King Duncan names him Thane of Cawdor. In Act 1, Scene 3, Macbeth and Banquo meet three witches who make the three predictions. Now remember, this is the plot point that furthers the rest of the story, so Act 1, Scene 3 is very, very important. The first prediction is that Macbeth will be Thane of Cawdor, which we already know is true, even though Macbeth himself does not. They also say that Macbeth will be king and that Banquo will father kings. They also speak in paradoxes. Remember, they say that Banquo is greater than Macbeth and lesser at the same time, so make sure you're thinking of that as well. After the witches make their three predictions, Ross arrives and tells Macbeth that he has been named the Thane of Cawdor, which substantiates the witches' predictions and encourages Macbeth to place a lot of stock in them, which he may not have done if none of the predictions had been proven to be true. And so this news causes Macbeth to take the witches' prophecies seriously. Moving on to Act 1, Scene 4, Duncan proclaims his son Malcolm heir to the throne, and Macbeth realizes that Malcolm is now also in his way. And Malcolm gives a brief but very important speech in which he says that he has black and deep desires. So we already know at this point that Macbeth is plotting the murder of Duncan. So it's not something that's off the cuff, it's something that he's thought about before and is premeditated in many ways. In Act 1, Scene 5, this is where we first meet the Lady Macbeth, and we want to remember all the things we talked about before, how she is manipulative, she's controlling, and of course she is just as ambitious and perhaps greedier than Macbeth himself. So she's reading a letter from Macbeth describing the witch's predictions, and she says that she fears that Macbeth is too soft-hearted to become king. The quote she uses is that he is too full of the milk of human kindness. You'll want to make sure to remember that quote. Lady Macbeth plans to manipulate Macbeth into killing Duncan. Now, it's up to us as the audience to decide whether or not Lady Macbeth is doing this out of greed or doing this out of general concern for her husband. The two readings are perfectly possible, but they give credence to different ideas. If Lady Macbeth is acting out of love, then that puts more sympathy on her character. But if she's acting out of greed, then she really is a redemptionless villain. Act 1, Scene 6, we skipped over this in class, but it's pretty insignificant. King Duncan arrives at Macbeth's castle and is graciously welcomed by Lady Macbeth. She's clearly playing a part here. She knows that she's going to murder King Duncan, or that she is going to have her husband murder King Duncan, but she wants to welcome him warmly anyway so that he is not suspicious. And finally, in Act 1, Scene 7, Macbeth speaks his first soliloquy as he rethinks murdering Duncan. Lady Macbeth taunts him to show his manliness by killing Duncan. And remember, we talked about this in class. You know, one of the biggest insults you can hurl at a man is to say that he is no longer a man. And that's what Lady Macbeth is doing. So, use this to help you remember what's going on in Act 1. What you have to look forward to in Act 2 is the death of Duncan and the fallout that comes from that. Macbeth and Lady Macbeth are going to be plagued by a series of consequences that follow the death of Duncan. So pay attention, stay tuned, and I'll post another one of these videos for Act 2 as soon as I can.